Yeah, today my presentation talk about joint concrete pavement and the reinventing the old approach. Before my presentation, I want to make a clarification about all those terms listed in these slides. You may have heard about the joint concrete pavement, joint planned concrete pavement. A very unique name from Texas is the concrete pavement construction design, CPCD. All those terms are for joint pavement. So in my presentation, I may use CPCD or GCP interchangeably. So in my presentation, I will give you some background information about the usage of a joint concrete pavement in Texas, and then the current statewide condition of our joint pavement, and then talk about how we reinventing the old approach. We issued a new memo and a new statewide standard. At the end, I will give you a summary. So this is the picture of a joint pavement under construction. Inside lies the CPCD before the concrete placement. You lay out the dowel bars to do the load transfer between the slab and use tie bars to tie the different lines together. So this is the outside lines after the concrete placement. And national-wise, actually, you see the usage of joint pavement is in blue color. So most other DOTs are using joint pavement like 100%. So only few DOT like Virginia or South Dakota, they have more CRCP than joint pavement. So the GCP actually is the most common type of concrete pavement in United States. So how about Texas? Texas, we have started using CPCD back to middle 30s. And then we start using CRCP, the continuous reinforced concrete pavement, since middle 50s. So we do have a lot of old joint pavement are still under service. And some of them was built like middle 40s, 50s. So they are far beyond their design life. So this is the old plan set I found, from the old plan set I found from 40s. They have very similar designs, the current design. We have 15 feet joint spacing, 12 feet line width with the dowel bars and tie bars. Yeah, this is the plan from 69, the CPCD detail. We have the dowel bar requirement, like exactly like for 8-inch slab, we have 1-inch dowel bar and 18-inch length at 12-inch spacing. So this is the oldest pavement condition report I can find for Texas pavement. In this report indicates we have about over 1,600 line mile of CPCD, and we have about 2,400 line mile of CRC back to 1985. So basically, we have about 60% of the CRC and 40% of the CPCD back then. So this is the condition back to 80s. You can see the variation from Class A, we range from 40% maybe down to 10%. And then the bad CPCD range from 50% to around 10%. So there are a lot of variations. So due to the concern of some failure of the CPCD, we have issued this memo back to year 2000. Basically, this memo discourages the use of CPCD. So after that, most of our concrete was built at CRCPs. So those information I downloaded from the site manager shows the CPCD usage in recent years. From fiscal year 05 to 08, we have netted about 2,200 line mile CRC, but only 106 line mile CPCD. And same thing for the last 5 years. So totally, we have laid about 7,000 line miles of CRC, but only 200 line miles of joint payment. So if we consider the line mile, so after all the construction, we have about 50% of our CRC on our network is less than 10 years old. And then about 5% is less than 10 years old for CPCD. One thing I need to bring your attention is the line mile we have latched for CRCP is close to 7,000 line mile. You know, I-10, the longest interstate highway in Texas is about 880 line miles. If we assume we have full travel length, the total line mile is close to 3,500 line mile. So basically, we have letted like 2 interstate highway in last 9 years for CRCP. Yeah, this table shows the line mile history about the joint concrete payment from 80s to 2014. We have a highest amount back to 2005, about 4,400, and then now we only have 3,700 line mile of joint concrete payment. This shows the percentage-wide. In our network, we have about 7% of CRCP and then 2% of joint concrete payment. So basically now we have 78% of CRC and then 22% of CPCD. So back to 80s, we have about 60% of CRC and then 40%. Now we have decreased the amount of CPCD on our network. This is from our PMS report, shows the condition of our payment. You can see the joint payment has about like 77% of joint payment has a score about 80. For CRC, we have like about 90% of CRC has a better score. This chart shows the right condition of our concrete payment. For CRC, we have over 80% has right score better than 3. But however, for jointed concrete payment, we have less than 50% has better right score. So we did the analyze the, what's the causes for those low right score. So basically, those are the major factors. We have found some CPCD section was placed direct on the subgrade without any stabilized base. So those we have observed like faulting or pumping in those sections. And also some sections was constructed without dowel bars. The dowel bars are very important to do the load transfer between the slabs. So without dowel bar, the faulting will be developed in those sections. And also some section was built without tight concrete shoulder. With a tight concrete shoulder, you avoid the edge loading condition, so the payment will last longer. And also another factor is all the sections are old sections. We think a lot of sections are still under traffic beyond their original design life. Recently, we have issued this memo talk about the criteria to use the CPCD. We want to expand the usage of CPCD in the locations where it may be more cost effective. So those are the criteria in the memo. For roadway design ESO is less than 40 million. Or the frontage road with a lot of leave-outs. Roadway controlled by other government entities like city or county jobs. And also like parking, roadway crossing or intersections. So all those locations, maybe CPCD is more desirable than CRCP. This is the summary table we come out for your reference when you're choosing the concrete pavement type. The first factor you should consider is the traffic level. We'll have heavy truck roadways. CRCP is the option. But when you have medium truck roadways, CPCD could perform well. It's a good alternative to CRC. For low truck roadways, CPCD should work. Okay. So another factor considered is the construction flexibility for the intersection or the frontage road with a lot of leave-out. CPCD has more flexibility to construct at those locations. And also, when we select concrete pavement type, we should consider material availability. Some districts only has high thermal expansion coarse aggregate to use. So for those districts, you may use a jointed concrete pavement instead CRC for the low volume and medium truck roadways. Another factor should consider is the foundation, the support condition. If the natural subgrade has higher risk for havings, or the project will be on the embankment, you have a high risk for voids on the slab, then CRCP will be the better selection. Okay, for cost saving, so I'm going to show you some cost information from our site manager. Those are the real cost data. So as you can see, this is for the CRCP. The most common item in our letting is the 10-inch CRCP. We let about 151 projects, and the average bid is like about $54 per square yard. So another items very popular is the 13-inch CRC, about $58 per square yard. So total, we have let about 30 million square yards of CRC in the last 5 years. Since the 2000 memo, we haven't built a lot of jointed pavement. So we have very limited data for jointed concrete pavement. 9-inch is the most common items. The bid price is average $58. But I do see some low bid price for 15-inch CPCD, only $35. As you know, the bid price depends on so many factors like location of the project, size of the project, and available material or the contract. So I did one exercise to try to, assuming all the conditions are the same, and then compare the 9-inch CPCD with 9-inch CRCP. So the total concrete costs are same, with additional costs for the dowel bars and the saw cut for CPCD. And then for jointed pavement, for CRC, we have additional costs for the steel, longitudinal steel and the transverse steel. So the final predicted price is about $43 per square yard for CPCD and $55 per square for CRCP. So basically, we estimate about 20% cost saving for CPCD applications. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the new statewide standard. So for our design, those are the slab thickness, size of the slab, and dowel size or the base support are major factors in our CPCD design. So for thickness design, we are still using H2 93 design procedure. So I'm not going to go through all the details. If you have any question about the thickness design, you may contact our branch. Here I want to emphasize the importance of the base support for our concrete pavement. Textile has recognized the benefit of those non-erodible base, so we require at least 4 inch of hot mix or 6 inch cement treated base with 1 inch bond breaker for our concrete pavement. So this is the snapshot of our new CPCD 2014 standard. Basically, we have typical layout, we have the joint details, and the requirement for tie bars and the dowel bars. So you may know, after you place the concrete will crack, right? So by design the pavement, we tell the concrete where to crack. In this detail, we have regular slab length 15 feet, and the regular slab width is the equivalent to the land width. The maximum width is the 15 feet. When you have a slab more than 15 feet wide, you may have higher risk for the longitudinal crack. This the detail shows the longitudinal construction. We have the tie bars to tie those adjacent lines together. Those are the tie bar requirement. This is for the transverse contraction joint between 2 slabs. So we require minimum 1/3 of a slab thickness to saw cut. Those are detailed requirements for dowel bars. So this slide shows the requirement for tight concrete shoulder. For the outside longitudinal joint, we want you have the saw cut joint instead the construction joint. Yeah, you can access all our payment details at the design division by the CAD under the CAD file. So those are list of our concrete details. So in summary, in order to achieve the good performance for CPCD, we should provide adequate slab thickness. We should provide uniform and sufficient base support. And then before the construction, we should have detailed joint layouts. And then we want to ensure we have dowel bars and the timely saw cut at the dowel bar locations and longitudinal joint. Also, when we do design, we want sure to have the tight concrete shoulder. So at the end, I want to show you the picture of the CRCP, which we have about 78% of our network. So this is the picture of CRCP. We have continued reinforced steel in the middle of the slab. So with that, thank you for your time.